Welcome back to Empowerment Junction Podcast, where we continue our journey to transform Mondays from a day of dread into a day of opportunity. In our last episode, we discussed short-term strategies to help you not just survive Mondays but to thrive. Today, we're shifting our focus to long-term strategies that will help you maintain that momentum throughout the week and beyond. Now, I want to start by apologizing for not posting this episode last week as promised. I appreciate your patience and I'm so excited to share that today's episode is packed with even more strategies as I've taken the time to fully prepare and dive deeper into the topic. As we dive into these long-term approaches, remember, this is your Monday morning reminder that you can handle whatever this week throws at you. But before we get started, for those who don't know me, my name is Olivia Bassi, your host and guide on this path of growth. With over 15 years of experience in teaching, training, assessment writing, and product development, I've fostered a deep-seated passion for sharing knowledge and igniting curiosity. Empowerment Junction is your go-to podcast for actionable advice and inspiration to thrive, not just in the workplace, but in every aspect of life. Throughout this podcast, I'll be sharing personal stories and equipping you with tactical strategies to grow and thrive wherever you are in life. So please, if you like what you hear today, I invite you to join me each week as we explore practical strategies and tips to navigate life's challenges, cultivate resilience, and achieve your desired goals. If you're new to Empowerment Junction, I invite you to subscribe, like, and join our community of empowered listeners. Together, let's embark on the journey to a more empowered and fulfilling life. So, get yourself very comfortable as we get started on the first strategy, which is about your mindset. And it's all about the importance of a positive mindset. A positive mindset is the cornerstone of a successful week. The Bible is filled with verses that encourage us to cultivate optimism, hope, and a spirit of gratitude. Let's dive into one of these powerful scriptures. Now, Philippians 4 verse 8 states, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." Imagine waking up on a Monday morning, should I emphasize. And you might wonder why I'm sharing this verse. So it's a Monday morning, you've woken up, and instead of dreading the day, you intentionally focus on what is good, what is pure, and what is lovely. Now, this verse, Philippians 4 verse 8, is a reminder that our thoughts shape our reality. By choosing to dwell on the positive, we set the tone for our entire week. It's not about ignoring the challenges, no, but about empowering ourselves with the mindset to face them head on. And if you've tuned in and you're part of this community, you know empowerment is why we're all here. Empowerment is why you've tuned in into this podcast. And that's what it's about. So the verses I'm sharing, the Bible verses and the motivational quotes are all about empowering yourself. So it's about shifting that mindset to a positive one. And how do you do that? You associate, you intentionally focus yourself with the positive stuff in your life. And of course, this is not to ignore that you'll have challenges or your challenges or the problems that might have present themselves. No, this is to remind yourself that yes, the challenges are there. Yes, the problems are there. But I'm going to intentionally focus on the good stuff, on the love, on the power of being here. Last week, I posted about the power that life has chose you to be here. It's a moment for you. So think about that moment. Think about the ones who might have not woken up this Monday. Now, I remember a Monday not too long ago when I was swamped with tasks. And this happens a lot. Now, I hadn't planned my week properly. And by Wednesday, I was overwhelmed. And I'm sure there are many people, if I was in a classroom looking at you physically and asked you to put your hands up, many of us would put our hands up and say yes. By Wednesday, we're feeling overwhelmed. But I had to refocus my mindset. And I also had to start setting time aside on Sunday evenings to plan out my week. And I found that not only did I accomplish more, but I felt more at peace. And I feel this is quite a poignant moment to share one of my favorite quotes from Zig Ziglar, which is, your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. And if you think about this, it's all about rising above, going to beyond, growing stronger, empowering yourself. So which means Zig Ziglar is encouraging us, saying your attitude, and your attitude is about your mindset, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude, which is your growth, your length of growth, and how far you're going to go. Now let's make it a point to rise above negativity by starting our Mondays with a heart full of gratitude and a mind fixed on what is good. And that brings us to our second strategy, which is planning for the week ahead. A well-planned week is a successful week. Now, I'm not just saying this. Put it in practice and see what happens. Put it in practice. Everything I'm discussing is about you putting it in practice, putting it in action, and discovering for yourself. Listening to this podcast is fantastic, but if you're not putting this in practice, I want to keep to the positive, but you've got to put this in practice. Now, when you plan your week, you have a successful week. Planning doesn't just prepare us for the tasks ahead. It gives us peace of mind and allows us to approach each day with purpose, and sometimes even with gratitude, saying thank you for a wonderful day. Thank you for a blessed day. The Bible offers valuable insights into the importance of preparation and organizations. If we read Proverbs 27 verse 1, which in a way I like, because it states, do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. In other words, you may have heard, man makes plans and God laughs about those plans. Now, this verse is powerful because it reminds us of the unpredictability of life. While we should plan, we must always remain flexible and trust that God will guide us through the unexpected. I've already told you about the power of being now, the power that life chose you to be here at this moment, in this timeline, now. is powerful enough. So which means when you set clear goals and you create a realistic schedule, you can have the confidence to navigate that week. However, it's important to leave room for divine interruptions. Those moments where God's plan might differ from ours. So, as you listen today, take a moment to think about your own experiences with planning. Do you usually plan your week in advance? How does it affect your productivity and peace of mind? And in a way, it helps me because I normally relate to planning with this quote from Benjamin Franklin, which states, "Failing to plan is planning to fail." Now let's take this coming Monday, to plan with intention. I know it's Bank Holiday Monday that's coming, but plan it with intention. What are you doing this Bank Holiday Monday? Plan it with intention, but also with humility, acknowledging that while we prepare, it's ultimately God, our Creator, who directs our steps. So this brings me swiftly to my next strategy, which is to overcome challenges. So overcoming challenges. Challenges, as we know, are inevitable. They're inevitable. But our response to them determines our success. The Bible provides countless examples of individuals who overcame adversity through faith and perseverance. Now, I'd like to explore one of the most inspiring stories, and probably one of my favorites, the story of Joseph from the book of Genesis. Joseph faced betrayal from his family and then into slavery and imprisonment, yet he never lost faith. His journey was long and filled with hardship, but because of his unwavering trust in God, he rose to become a leader in Egypt, saving many lives during a famine. Now, Joseph's story is a powerful reminder that no matter how difficult our challenges may seem, there is always a bigger picture at play. Mondays can feel daunting, especially when faced with a mountain of tasks or challenges from the previous week. But like Joseph, we can choose to persevere, trusting that our efforts and faith will lead us to triumph in due time. Now, another powerful story is that of Nehemiah. Nehemiah faced immense challenges in rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. Despite opposition and threats, Nehemiah relied on God's guidance and strength, demonstrating that with divine wisdom and perseverance, we can overcome even the most daunting obstacles. Which leads me to think about the struggles. The struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. I'll repeat that. The struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. So whatever your mind looks like today, know that if you put these actions and these strategies in play, tomorrow you'll be much stronger. So please, let's face this Monday with determination and faith that Joseph and many other biblical figures had, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. And my next strategy is around seeking wisdom and guidance. Now, the Bible is a rich source of wisdom and guidance. In fact, there are many biblical stories I relate to in the Bible. In moments of uncertainty, seeking God's direction can help us navigate the challenges and opportunities that come our way. I've already given you the many examples when I felt overwhelmed, very discouraged, and turning to God and leaving it in God's hand saw me through the next day and the next day and the next month. and the next years. And look where I am now. And I believe every moment is a point where my faith becomes stronger. And I become stronger in my knowledge, my insight, the wisdom I gain from God's ways and God to lead me to the next step and the next direction. So I urge you to turn to God's guidance. And I think it's quite a moment now where I feel one of the verses that really is powerful in many ways. If you can relate to it and if it resonates, it's a moment to embrace this verse and even use it as an affirmation in your daily life, in your Mondays, if Mondays are still quite a struggle. And it's Proverbs 3:5-6, which says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." Now, this verse encourages us to start our week by surrendering our plans to God. It's easy to rely on our own understanding, especially when we think we have everything figured out. But many of us know we've never figured out anything. I know, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I do know, I've checked in with many people. Nothing. You think that this is where you need to be, and then something happens and you're derailed, or there's a setback, or there's a challenge that just tells you that perhaps you're just not quite ready. So when you trust in the Lord, as this verse says, he will direct your paths. Now, the verse encourages us to start our week by surrendering our plans to God. Now, the reason why I like this verse is because when it comes to that Monday and you might be struggling, take a moment to do some reflection or meditation. And if you're a believer, this is a moment to speak to God and say, thank you for today. Thank you for today. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for allowing me to see another day. I ask you to guide me today. I ask you to give me wisdom. I ask you to speak for me and show me what to do. Yes, I have my plans, but for those who know the Lord's Prayer, may your will be done on earth as it is done in heaven. It's not my will, not mine. I'd love my will to be done, but it never goes my way. But when I say the Lord's Prayer, Our Father, I say, may your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, which means I am surrendering, I am acknowledging him, and I'm waiting for him to direct my path. Now, it's easy, as I said, to rely on our own understanding, especially when we think we have everything figured out. But true wisdom comes from recognizing that God's perspective is far greater than ours. If you want to understand wisdom, please, I encourage you. In fact, I urge you, go and read Proverbs 4, which talks about the benefits of wisdom. It's a powerful verse in many ways because it encourages us to never lose sight of what wisdom is. I mean, I've just got here a few words. Proverbs 4 verse 5 says, "Get wisdom and insight. Do not forget or ignore what I say. Do not abandon wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will keep you safe." Getting wisdom is the most important thing you can do. Whatever else you get insight. Love wisdom, and she will make you great. Embrace her, and she will bring you honor. She will be your crowning glory. So I urge you, please go and read Proverbs 4. It's a powerful. Sometimes I read it in the night, just before I go to bed. Sometimes in the morning. And he encourages me. And I think what's even more powerful about this, they do say one of the most wisest historical biblical figures was King Solomon. King Solomon prayed for wisdom. And he was one of the most admired biblical historical figure and a king who was very wise. He was very wise. So I'm urging you, Begin your Monday with a prayer and reflection, or even a meditation. Because I strongly believe when I open myself up to divine guidance that leads me and it also leads me through even the most complex situations, I find that I'm at peace. Even after many adversities, and I've faced many adversities in my life. Some of them I might not just be prepared to talk about, but they've been there and they've seen me through today, and I'm smiling because I know every step of the way, that divine protection, that guidance, that God is always with me. So I urge you, when you put God first, or when we put God first, I feel all other things fall into their proper place. And I find myself not worried. So remember, take a moment to reflect each day. And if you can, wait for God's approval instead of making your own plans, which I feel sometimes, and when I make my own plans, I always end up in tears or very frustrated. So I'm finding that I need to wait for God's approval. And I think when we wait for God's approval instead of making our own plans, it can save us from unnecessary conflicts and hasty choices that we might regret later. So consider the life of King David in the Bible. King David, one of my most admired figures in the Bible, who wrote the book of Psalms, he was a man of God's own heart. Even after defeating Goliath and facing numerous challenges, he never assumed he had all the answers. Before each battle or important decision, David sought the Lord's guidance. He knew that despite being an experienced warrior, God's perspective was infinitely broader than any human experience. In our own journey, we may feel tempted to rely on our own past experiences, but like David, we must remember that each situation is unique. Seeking God's direction ensures that our actions align with His plans, not just our assumptions. Another important lesson comes from the story of Joshua and the Gibeonites. Without seeking God's wisdom, Joshua and the Israelites were deceived by the Gibeonites' appearances and entered into a hasty covenant. Now, this story reminds us that appearances can be deceiving and that without God's guidance, we can be seduced by empty promises. I've done an episode on toxic people and situation, and this is where these types of people come in. In fact, toxic people and situations are they remind me of the Gibeonites because they're very deceitful. They're very charming and deceitful. And they seduce you by empty promises. And that's why it's important to take lessons. I take lessons from these biblical figures because it is God's word. And I seek God's wisdom when I start the week. So I'd encourage you by this quote: when we put God first, all other things fall into their proper place. And at this juncture, I'd like to take this time today to seek God's wisdom, trusting that He will guide us through the week ahead. And I'd like to offer all my listeners some guided meditation. And I hope you'll find this helpful. Now, this is about cultivating a positive mindset. Now, let's take a moment to practice a guided meditation to cultivate a positive mindset. So find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down, whatever works for you, wherever you are. If you can, obviously, I hope you're not driving, because I do know some people, I've spoken to some people, I know they listen to this podcast while they're driving. But if you can, once you find that comfortable position, close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. As you inhale, feel the light and positive energy filling your body. As you exhale, release any tension or negativity. Now imagine yourself surrounded by a warm golden light. This light represents the positive energy and optimism that you are cultivating. Feel this light entering your body, filling you with hope and joy. As you continue to breathe, visualize yourself facing a challenge. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or afraid, imagine approaching the challenge with a calm and confident attitude. Now remember, your Creator is with you at this moment. He's your biggest cheerleader. So which means He's the one who's giving you that confidence. And whilst you're doing this, His golden light is around you. It's empowering you, giving you the strength and clarity to overcome any obstacle. So picture that golden light. Now, imagine yourself achieving your goals. Picture the feeling of success, satisfaction, and gratitude. Let this positive vision fill your mind and heart. Take a few more deep breaths, allowing the positive energy to sink deeper into your being. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes and return your focus to your surroundings. Now I urge you to remember, a positive mindset is a choice. By cultivating optimism, hope, and gratitude, you can create a more fulfilling and successful week. And I really hope you found that meditation helpful, and I hope you can continue to practice it. And with that, I'd like to conclude this episode by reminding you that a positive mindset, careful planning, perseverance, and seeking divine guidance are essential for a successful Monday morning and a fulfilling week. Please let the wisdom and inspiration of the Bible stories guide you on your journey. And I really hope you'll go forth with optimism, purpose, and faith. And I'd like to encourage you to take some time today to reflect on what you've learned. How can you apply these strategies in your life this week? It's about taking those actions. And please, I'd absolutely love to hear how you're doing. Share your stories with me. Send me an email, a WhatsApp. Send me a feedback or whatever works for you. And let's continue this conversation. Now, don't forget, next week, we'll be diving into the power of resilience and how to bounce back stronger from setbacks. Please, I don't want you to miss it. And take a moment to reflect on the wisdom we've explored today. May we seek God's guidance in all our plans, trust in His timing, and face each challenge with faith and courage. And with that, I'd like to take this opportunity to say a quick, short prayer. Lord, I thank you for the gift of this new week. I thank you for letting us see yet another day. I thank you for the blessings. I thank you for your mercy. I thank you for choosing me to do whatever you want me to do today. I thank you for always giving me the wisdom to move on and the confidence to move on each new day. I pray that you help us to start with a positive mindset. I pray that you help us cultivate a positive mindset. May we understand your words, and may the benefits of wisdom as written in Proverbs 4 befall on us. May we have a positive mindset to plan with purpose and to always seek your wisdom in all that we do. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray and believe. Thank you for hearing my prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, have a blessed week ahead, an extraordinary bank holiday Monday. Thank you so much for tuning into Empowerment Junction. My name is Olivia Bassi. Peace, love, and blessings. Bye for